so it's officially on. It's officially on.
It's official.
DB10, 23rd of August. Hey, so I won't say, like, you know how you've stopped?
Yes.
Right.
Doing the thing that
you were doing.
Before,
yeah. Do you feel like you stop and you have these moments of like there is just this gap of your creativity? Because, life takes over and all that stuff. It's hard to be like constantly creative, constantly making something, constantly like, jerking off or whatever we're doing, right? Constantly crying or like, what do you feel in the periods that you're not?
Yeah, I don't know, actually. I don't know. What is it for you? Like, why? Because there's the like not doing it, but there's also the stopping, right? Because even if you don't realize it at the moment, it becomes a stop. And, you end up not doing something for 6 months. So was there something in that last performance that meant that it led me into a stop or some sort of dead end, which I maybe subconsciously kind of recognized. And for the latest performance series, in part, I think that was true. I think the last performance I did I found it difficult to perform, which I hadn't before. And so there's a little like crisis in that kind of like, oh, I thought this was an easy replicable thing and now it's become difficult. And now having processed it for a couple of months, it's sort of like, oh, actually now I'm interested in that. I'm interested in like, I have to actually struggle to perform. Like something has changed here. And actually, and this will link to hopefully what we're talking about today. I've been interested in that, in the notion of the zombie that we're going to talk about. But there's this, in the traditional zombie flick or whatever, where the survivor is like in the first few days of the outbreak, there's this like adrenaline and excitement, right? And a lot of that excitement is that you have the opportunity to kill your neighbor, right? With no moral judgment. It's like, they're a zombie now. All my hatred of my neighbor, of them being better than me or like competing and just the horror of fucking suburban life, I can now take out that frustration and just fucking murder them in the most brutal way imaginable. So that's like the catharsis of any zombie film, is that it allows you to murder the thing that you both love and hate. It's also the reason why like you can be so violent towards the zombie, right? You can rip their body apart in a way that you couldn't in any other genre and still get like a PG rating, right? It's kind of a separate issue. But that kind of libidinal release over time, if you look at something like The Walking Dead as a series, the urgency in the first season very quickly becomes like this laborious work of killing the zombie. There's like completely joyless. And I'm interested in that because it's sort of like, like akin to like sex or whatever, right? It's like once you've fucked like 100 times, it becomes this like dutiful act. And the killing of the zombie in The Walking Dead is precisely a dutiful act because it is the absolute perfect recreation of settler colonialism. It's you clear the land of the native, you murder them, you push them out, and then you set up your boundary wall, and then you start growing your crops, right? It is purely like this. A polite reading would be it's a repressed trauma of settler colonialism that's repeating through these forms. In another, probably more accurate form, it's a veneration, a celebration of the settler colonial process. But either way, it is this work that has been ascribed to what initially was libidinal. To relate that back to art, I think that, and we've talked about this quite a lot too, that there's a distinction between, like, how do we consider the production of art alongside labor and work? Like, what do we think of it as work, and does that change like our relationship to it as work?
It does. I feel lonely.
Oh. I'm sorry, Mom. Do you want a hug?
No, I'm going back to like the beginning of that. Right.
Just,
like, I feel lonely. Like if I stop working, there's this like solemn period, and it can,
working or making art.
Making art, not working. Working is not art for me. Like art comes like a flow, like it just like I'm doing it, and it's like I'm engaging with myself, but I'm also engaging with whoever I show it to. Like it could be one person, it could be a million people. It could have one person in mind I'm making it for. Like when I met Surya, I was just making art for her.
Yeah.
So it was, or it's like for the general bigger public. Like if I'm putting something on like on the social media thing, I'm using it as a gallery rather, because I'm so not into galleries. I'm using that social media platform as like this absurd place where I can play. where everyone does. Like, I understand, like, it's a blur. It's like a grey thing. But I feel lonely. Like, I haven't made work for a couple of weeks now. I haven't been on this podcast for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Or whatever, like, you know, what we're doing. Like, even if it doesn't go anywhere, it's like a creative outlet, right? So I get this, you know, lonely feeling. Like, it overtakes, like, I'm not talking to Tim. And making art just by yourself is cool. Like writing, like we were just talking about writing. That's cool. For me, like, it has to be socially engaged.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's the ego, what that is attached to. But you're right, like the labor, that becomes work, right? If I'm being paid for that, I think I would be lonely. It wouldn't be art. I don't know. Yeah. I've never been paid. I have been paid for making terrible art.
Yeah.
Have you been
usually
paid?
the only art that you get paid for.
Yeah. Like they call it art. Like I always like invoiced as art.
Yeah.
Like I've never sold like a product.
No.
But it's kind of like I'm selling a festival or I'm selling an idea of like, come and spend money in the city when I do all the architectural projection mapping, like, you know.
Yeah. But from my memory of you talking about that stuff, you didn't have the same kind of joy or excitement about that work that you had about, or maybe over time that diminished.
Because it became work.
Yeah.
Like it became like a routine, you know, like 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock. You're on a computer. You're drawing on a computer. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. Like people do enjoy that. Like I know they enjoy it, but I need to like not only draw. I need to video. I need to yell. I need to run around nude. I need to push the boundary of what's not acceptable.
No shit, Mel.
You do as well.
Sure.
Like the more like
know,
we are a slow burn relationship. Like I've known you for like over 10 years, but it's a slow burn. But like the more like I uncover and scratch, it's like this identical crisis point of why do we need to touch the fire? Do you know? It's art, right?
Yeah. Why I enjoy like this format, this like sociality format of producing art, I feel far less judged. Because what I've started to realize in like my soul studio practice, that I am constantly disappointing myself. Like at every like moment, I feel this like terrible disappointment with what I'm producing, which I thought would just go away. Like I thought that's such a teenage thing to feel. I thought that like my art making, I'd at some point be confident in it, and I'm just not. But when I am talking to you, I still think of this as art. Like I definitely think about this as art, that I'm so much more like joyous and happy and excited to do this or a performance even, because it feels more kind of social than to be in my studio with myself as judge.
To explain that, to say why I feel this is art, like, because it is joyous, right? For me, it's just stepping into art, right? And if I can step into art with you, and just talk about it. Like, fuck, man. I feel like I have been the biggest hustler in the world, right? My 50 years that I've been alive. Because art really is nothing to everyone. Like, it's just like, what the fuck is that, man? It's a hobby. Yeah, like I make everything I have done up to this point, I've made a living off it, talking about art, right? And it feels like I'm in a bit of an imposter, because art is an imposter. Yeah. For me and you, it's not, right? So I step into this bubble of and I've said it before, this art reality, this realm, this magical fucking, you know, thing that it's real. Like it's a really magical thing. Like I can pay my rent, put fuel in the car, like, you know, and I can complain about fucking everything. Yeah. Because I see it through that lens. I see it through an art lens, right? Yeah. Is that a humanitarian lens, a Marxist lens, a socialist lens? You can call it whatever you want. You can have your daisies and your butterflies in your artwork and your paintings, but like this is art for me. You know, this is my art. Yeah. We are making art together, and that's a fucking compliment. Do you know what I mean? Like that's for me. Like
You know what? When you just said that, I had this like spatial realization, because you know how we've talked about this room as being special, and it's like we don't want anyone to violate this space other than us. But when you just said that, what I was thinking about was like, you know what? That is actually a really important distinction. That when I'm in my studio and I'm making art, there is this distinction between me, the artist, and the work, right? I mean, that's fucking obvious, but whatever. And therefore, like, the disappointment comes between the very basic level, the intention of the artist and what is being produced. Both can be disappointing. But with this, I feel like we've walked into the artwork, right? So we're actually inside the artwork right now. And so all we're doing is giving voice to this room.
Yeah.
And that's why it's beautiful. That's why I find this room beautiful, because it's like an installation.
Yeah.
Which we're inside.
We should take a picture of... No. Let's describe it. This is documentation. We're just documenting this room every fortnight, week.
Yeah.
Biannually.
Whenever this is going to fucking come out.
Hey, zombies, like, you actually wrote your first lecture series was like zombie modernism.
Oh, that's right. Fuck, I totally forgot that.
Right.
I called it that, didn't I?
Yeah.
Shit, I've been obsessed with zombies for ages then.
Fuck. And I loved when you talked about like the first time art was revealed in the show, like the painting that they took over some office and there was a painting on the wall and there was the first time like the guy with the bow and arrow. You said this is the first time they mentioned art.
Yes, sorry. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes. This is, okay, so in The Walking Dead, early-ish on, but it's like 10 or so episodes in, there is a mention of art, right? And it's when they go into an office block.
Prison. Was it a prison?
No. This was an office block. So it was this corporate office, right? And there was this bullshit abstract work on the wall, like you've seen in every real estate office / corporate office. And they just have this like pause moment in between killing all the zombies where Carol says, "I like it," right? And Daryl, is that?
Yeah, that's
Carol
it.
and Daryl?
Yeah,
is that
Daryl.
really what it is?
Like this weird. Yeah, it is.
Oh my god!
And Daryl's got like his own show now because he's such a character.
Yeah,
and he's the one with the bow and arrow.
Yeah, right.
So is Carol. They've all got bow and arrows, right? They're both like kind of like in love, but they're not.
Yeah. I mean, the bow and arrow thing is also interesting, right? Because if we think about the inversion of the zombie as the First Nations representative of the First Nations, then it's so interesting that it's the settler that becomes the hunter-gatherer, right? This kind of weird return, trying to import the notion of like the white nuclear family as like having always been around, and being able to exist within the structure of the hunter-gatherer, which is fundamentally anti-nuclear family. But anyway, what Daryl says in response to Carol saying, "I like it," he says, "It looks like a dog sat in paint and wiped his ass across it," which is like one of the best descriptions of abstract art I think I've ever seen. But within a post-apocalyptic scenario, right, it is assumed that culture has absolutely no, and art has absolutely no valence, no place within this world. And that when it does occur, it occurs as this incredibly strange aside. I'm going to pause for a second, maybe like to get the runtime up to the next commercial break or whatever, right? And have this strange aesthetic conversation, and then it be completely forgotten for the rest of the series, because survival is supposed to be the antithesis of art. When I saw that, it just make me think, well then, if the survivors aren't interested in art, then maybe it's the zombies who are the artists, right? Maybe actually that's where all the art happens within a post-apocalyptic kind of scenario. But with any scenario where like one's obsession with a kind of with a sort of capitalist logic of accumulation, of property, of prospects, of futurity, then we have to look to the deathly necropolitics in order to actually find art. And maybe that comes back to this sort of thing that because we're perverted, right? Yeah. That we only feel alive when we are doing the deathly. The second we get paid for it, the second it becomes linked to notions of futurity, of advancement and accumulation, we start to feel an emptiness. And I think in a way, when you look at like post-apocalyptic scenarios, it's like a crystallization of a demand to insist that America is natural, but that nature cannot be separated from the capitalist drive. So the survival drive is the capitalist drive. What I want to talk about today is that there are, of course, other drives. And by fixating on the capitalist drive, you miss out on the death drive, the libido, the sex drive, and obviously like eating, amongst other things.
So, like, what we were talking about right before the zombies, being that for me, art it's not art if I'm being paid for it. That's what you're saying is the death. Like, they're the zombies making the art. So as soon as the survivors start making art, like they're making it for a process, like a production. Okay, I get it. How do zombies make art? They feel lonely all the time.
I think zombies are not lonely at all. They're the perfect representation of communism.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you think about a collective, a zombie is the perfect collective monster. Right? It has to be a monster from the West because communism is monstrous. The vampire is the antithesis of the zombie. So the vampire is Europe, right? The vampire is the notion of the king and the queen of the monarch, right? The old system. And so it is horrific and we hate the vampire, but we have a strange desire towards the vampire.
Yeah, there's a fetishism, right?
Definitely, right?
Yeah.
Definitely. Which is why, of course, America will always say we have no kings and queens, but they name every pop star a king or a queen, right? Of course, they're full of monarchies. So there's this absolute romanticization. America's links to monarchies and to Europe, but also because it still maintains monarchies. Yeah. The zombie is the opposite figure of that. And there's a very specific reason for that, because actually the zombie comes from Haiti, comes from a slave rebellion, and so the zombie is the figure of the other. It is the figure of the slave. And the leader of the slave rebellion's name was John Zombie. There are earlier histories of it which are also interesting. But when you apply that into a mid-20th century context, and I would even say into the 21st century context, the zombie and the notion of the collective horde is the communist collective. There is no leader, and they are all productive towards their needs and their desires, through which there is no differentiation. But firstly, it's a beautiful fear of this, of basically the Marxist maxim that like communism is the final form, right? Because they're undead, they're never going to die. Once we reach the zombie, that's our final form, and also they're in complete harmony with nature, right? As much as the thing that I always point out. You know what it is? Fuck, you know what it is? It's sorry, I just had this thought. I remember this from it must have been like the 90s of, remember like when droughts were still considered something that was a bit like, once in 50 year kind of event. Australia had them, but it was an anomaly, and it was just like, it wasn't part of climate change, right? It was just something that Australia had. And so farmers had to deal with the drought when the drought came. And I remember this interview of this farmer on this kind of barren field with these like dying sheep, right? And he's sitting there, he's standing there, flies, blah, 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 saying like, oh, it's this drought, it's like really, it's fucking killed us, nothing can survive here. Like, look at our sheep. And then in the background behind the sheep, there are just these like 1,000 kangaroos. I was like, what? No, you can't survive here. The sheep can't fucking survive here. Kangaroos are fine.
Yeah.
And that's what the survivor in any zombie film is. They're so fixated on their own survival, they miss the thriving that is just beyond the fence, that has always thrived and will always thrive in those same conditions.
There's a movie that the kangaroo kills people. It's a recent movie.
Yes.
Right. It's an Australian movie. I think it was aired at Cannes or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I want to see that.
I love that now. I want to see it.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking of the kangaroo as the zombie.
Isn't there like in Terranelius as well? Isn't there a moment where the kangaroo kills someone?
Skippy
kills someone.
Skippy, like, what do you think, Skippy? And he's like, yeah. Fucking Skippy.
Yeah.
I used to be called a wog, right? I've mentioned this before to you. And this is like primary school, and it like carries on. And the worst thing I could say back to the predominant white cultured racist dude that's calling me a wog was, oh, you're a Skippy, mate. That's the worst thing. Like, we all did it. Like, all like migrant kids called Aussies Skippy, right? In the 80s. Like, you're a fucking kangaroo. And I feel like my parents would call Australian people, because they romanticized kangaroos back, like, this is an 80s thing. Like, if you traveled back to Europe, right, people would go, "Oh, do you see kangaroos down your street?"
Yeah.
Do you remember conversations like that? Like you stop having those conversations.
Yeah.
And when you're a kid, migrants think there's kangaroos like roaming around everywhere, right? And koalas in your backyard tree. My parents would refer to Australians as kangaroos. They'd go, "Gangaruda." Like it's a really cute way of calling what like a settler or colonizer is. Is that they're a kangaruda. So bringing it back to those kangaroos.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the kangaroos are the zombies. They're the
survivors. Well, they're not survivors. They're the thrivers, right? They do not fit the epistemic logic of the settler. Like they had for that farmer who's like nothing survives here. There's no value here. He cannot see the value of the living organisms around him because they're outside of the sole drive through which he understands the world, which is the capitalist settler drive, right? The kangaroo was particular to the 80s, and one of the reasons for that is that the boxing kangaroo was on the that stupid yacht that won
the Australia Cup.
Australia Cup, right?
America's Cup. America's Cup. Yeah, Australia. We won it
for 1 year, and
with
that was
our like secretive underneath the kiln.
Oh, the kiln.
What is it? Like the kill. Like, like it came off the water and it was like angled at a perfect like 33.33 degrees or something like that. Well, I actually watched that. Like
so
I
you
got
remember
into
Bob
it.
Hawke saying, if your boss fires you tomorrow, they're a grub.
Yeah, I do. Like, and I was a kid, but I remember that. Like, I was like, fuck yeah, this guy's cool. But now I realize that he wasn't.
No,
like Bob Hawke was.
He said that the solution to the Middle East was to A-bomb the whole thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Fuck that. There was always something a little bit Rolf Harris about Bob Hawke. Sorry. What I mean, I'm not saying he's a pedophile. I'm not calling him a pedophile. But
he's dead, so.
But like there was something about like him being like this left wing. Like everyone loved Bob Hawke because they still remember Whitlam. Right?
Yeah.
And Whitlam was cool.
Yeah.
Right, he got sacked. He was that cool. He was such a socialist that like they had to get rid of him.
America got rid of him.
So, and we realized that there is no leader in this country. Like, if they need to go, they will go. That's like the whole problem today with what's happening in the Middle East. Like you said, the reason why Anthony's so fucking
because he would just go,
he'd be gone.
Yeah.
Like he can't do a thing.
Yeah,
Hawke and not being a pedophile, but there was something creepy about him.
Yeah.
I always felt it.
Yeah.
Like I always felt it. And it wasn't the fact that he was selling off and privatizing everything. Actually, it was. Anyway, so like we forget that he did that. We forget that he completely sold everything. He sold telecom, he sold electricity, he sold NRMA. He was, right?
Yeah.
And people love him.
Yeah.
Like when he died, like cool, he's an old guy, died, he's an icon, we can make beer out of him. He's like, he could jug a skull of beer,
or whatever.
And then you have like Howard trying to do it. That was funny. Did Howard try to do it? I feel like, and he was like, like a little bitty, like.
Well, Albo tried to do it a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, it's like this iconic thing of being a neoliberal now is like, let's drink a beer and cry. Yeah. Because why did he cry? He cried.
Yeah.
At least he did the first crying performance. Fucking asshole.
Hawke had that creepy uncle vibe about him.
That's what I mean by Rolf Harris. Like when Rolf Harris got called out, and I was like, I knew that as a kid. I would not want to go to. I don't want to sing the Tiny Kangaroo down sport kangaroos again. Zombies and kangaroos. Yeah.
What I was going to say with the boxing kangaroo, right? There's an interesting history of that. But the only thing I want to say is I've been collecting decommissioned news archive photographs, and one of the ones I found was from the 80s. And it's the most incredible photo of Vatican City. So Pope John Paul II, right? Big Pope. And there was obviously like this Australian delegation that went, what Australia sent were, so it's like there's this stage where the Pope is like highlighted with heavenly light, all in white. And there's like these two like archbishops in black behind him. And then he steps down to where these Australian performers are. And it's two guys dressed as clowns, right? With like white face and big clowny shoes and stuff, boxing a kangaroo. That's what we sent to the Vatican. And the fact that the fucking Pope had to watch that, like sucked in. It's like the most insulting thing I could think of sending. And that's what our cultural attaché was.
Look,
to show that the Pope.
I haven't watched any of the Olympics, but I got bombarded with that ray gun break dancer. I don't want to mention that. But she did a little kangaroo dance.
Yeah, I mean, kangaroo is still. It's like
that's who we are. That's who we send to the world.
Yeah, we still do that, right?
We still do that. We send that to the world.
A clown punching a kangaroo is the height of our cultural excellence, which is but also like why we love being artists. Like if you talk about touching fire, like touching art in this country is touching fire. So which is kind of cool. You're already fucked.
Yeah, exactly. I love that. Let's start.
All right. So we're kind of going off script by going on script this week. Get that. Yeah, let's it makes it sound really formal.
Yeah.
By doing that.
That's our like intro. Nick, can you
cut from here?
Can you do something with this, Nick?
Turn it into.
Where are you, Nick?
Come back.
Come back, Nick.
You promised us. I've never even met Nick, but
you have. You taught him.
God, I hate it when people say this. You know, someone
you've taught like 8,000 people.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
I also have mild face aphasia or amnesia, or whatever it's called.
He's cool.
No, I have no doubt.
He really
he's
likes
so cool.
I think
he's so cool that he doesn't want to edit this.
He said that you were his favourite lecturer ever.
Aww.
And he remembers talking to you.
Yeah,
so
we won't
much.
fucking edit this podcast, will he? Doesn't want to listen to me now. Fucking asshole.
No. Poor guy.
I deliberately be incredibly rude to people as a way of a marker of friendship.
Yeah.
Like I'm an absolute asshole because I don't know why I want people to hate me, but it is like I will say the meanest thing I can think of in order to see how that person will react.
I can't imagine you being mean. Like I can't imagine you being. So why were you never rude to me?
I feel like I am rude to you all the time.
You've never been rude to me.
Oh.
I would get it, or else I'm that
I think
thick. I like this is new to me.
Yeah. Okay. I mean,
we've
maybe
got to like through the weeks. Let's
tease out this issue that I have.
Yeah.
All right.
Trad wives on TikTok. I'm not on TikTok.
I am now.
You are?
Yeah, but that's a different issue.
Now I'm going to be on TikTok. I remember the first time you said TikTok in the lecture, and you said all the kids are looking at, and everyone giggled because they're all on TikTok, right? Or they'll follow on you, and you said everyone else is still on Facebook, and I was giggling because I wasn't on Facebook. I was on Instagram, right?
Yeah.
I still can't do TikTok, and I don't know why. I don't know if I don't have ADHD. I don't know what it is about TikTok.
Yeah. I'm like, when I say I'm on it, I post on it. I've never actually spent any time on it.
What, you post on it?
Yeah, that series I talked about earlier. I've been posting on TikTok.
I've got to now get a TikTok account and follow you. Yeah, before we talk about this, what's your TikTok name? Tim Gregory? Is it?
I fucking don't know. I don't know.
It's like the chef?
The genius.
The genius.
I assume it's my name. It's whatever they defaulted gave me when I logged in with Google.
You don't do like a makeup name?
I think they give you, I honestly can't remember. I assume because I logged in with my Gmail.
Yeah.
It set up my account for me. So I assume it picked a name based on my Gmail address.
Surely you don't even spend time like doing an electronic avatar that looks like you, that smiles.
No, it took my profile picture from Google.
Wow. Okay, so
you
are just like join default, boom, and then just start using.
And then occasionally upload. Like I have never logged on to TikTok. I've only logged on to the Studio app to upload.
How many views have you had?
I don't know. I'm telling you, I haven't looked.
you probably had like 4 million views.
No. Okay, like I think I checked. It's like fucking like 400 views, right? And
that's a lot. That's more than that's 399 more people than you know. So that's
It's true. That's true.
See, is that the type of teasing that
that's
you do?
Right. No, that's very good. You
see?
Yeah.
I get it now.
I love being abused.
All right, so the chef. Let's talk
about the chef.
Yeah.
So this is my attempt our attempt to have notes, which we've never done before. Because our editor, who refuses to work for us, told us we should have notes. So
his name's Nick. Not like saying anything. He's in Greece. Let the guy just be in Greece and have a fucking.
We were
time.
offering
it's summer.
him like the price of a coffee.
I know.
To do it.
Well, it was $100.
2 coffees.
$50 each. Split it half. I think I was actually going to try to go 40-60.
I thought we were doing 100 each.
Oh, really? Don't say that on this. Why did you say that? Like, we're not even editing this. Who's going to hear that?
Shit.
Hey, you're like an associate professor.
I'm definitely not.
Okay. All right.
But I know 60-40 is fine.
Poor Nick. Nick is in Greece. He's in Corfu, probably Athens. He's probably in raves. He's probably having a fucking awesome time. And I wouldn't give a fuck about editing this.
No.
If you're in Greece.
No,
if you're in Greece, will you? He's going to probably listen to it when he's on the aeroplane back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine. Obviously I have no issue. I just like teasing someone.
No, same.
And when are you going to take me to raves?
Raves? Do you want to go to a rave? We can do some ketamine together. Do people do ketamine at raves? I think they do. Like, ketamine is back with the young people.
Oh,
they just talk about it all the time.
It is with my depressed married friends.
What is it with ketamine? Like, why is it back? What is ketamine? I'm not really into ketamine. Like, I've never, like, it scares me. Like, I was from the time when it was given to us on the news, like you'd get it from a vet.
Yeah.
Like, it was on the news. Like, I know it was all propaganda, like, don't take this, so you get it from, right? And it's a disassociate. Like, you disassociate from yourself.
Yeah.
Like, what does that mean? Like, for me, it's like, rubbing, like, anesthetic cream, right?
Yeah.
So it's like swallowing anesthetic cream. That's how I feel like what Kay would do. It's like this big, anesthetises you, right? Like, from the, like instead of rubbing it on you, you put it into your internal organs, right? Why is that fun? Like, come on, surely, like.
I don't think it is that. Maybe it is. Maybe mostly because I just talk to depressed people, so it's not going to be fun anyway. But maybe for young people,
do they want to disassociate with themselves that badly? Like, what's wrong with yourself?
I find that trauma does that pretty well.
Yeah,
just do that.
Yeah, this is why we do this. We're trying to disassociate with the world.
We come into the artwork so that we don't have to be us.
Should we take a drug every fortnight and just come on and, like, we could try that. Like, 1 week would be heroin, 1 week ketamine, like, but not just a little bit, like a lot. Like, we take a lot of something. Like, we'd even do. We've been doing 4 weeks of caffeine, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Like, today we're straight.
Yeah,
this is the straightest
straight edge we're gonna be.
One day we smoke a whole packet of Winnie Blues each.
Winnie Blues.
Okay.
Oh, that's got a like sense memory for me.
Let's start.
So, I want to talk about the menu. Let me talk about the menu, Mel. Fuck. Now, you know why? You know why I wrote all of this? Why I want to talk about the menu?
I have a feeling.
It has to do with you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't have a feeling then.
Because you said you didn't like this film.
No, I like the menu.
You said... Okay,
yeah,
this might be my...
No.
That your kids liked it. You didn't.
I didn't watch it. I've seen it since then. Surya said to me that it is a great film. She actually took my son and her nephew to watch it, and they loved it. And I was like, oh, I don't know. Tim always talks about it. I don't know. Like, he likes Beyonce. I'm not sure.
His taste is questionable.
He does The Walking Dead.
He likes me.
Yeah. Like, what's...
Yeah.
Got it. It's revealing itself. But I watched it, like, actually about a year ago or now. So, but I know you've been talking about it for maybe 3 years or something like that.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I was like, okay. I thought it was a horror movie. This is why I did not want to watch it. Anything with the word horror in the title.
Yeah.
I go, nah. Like, or like, when the descriptor, not horror in the title, but the descriptor, thriller, anything that says action or horror.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know about that. Yeah. Like, there are some good horror movies.
Oh yeah. Fuck yeah.
I wouldn't say that's a horror movie.
I mean,
it's
it has
just a wrong description.
It's
a wrong description.
It's the wrong description.
It's an art movie.
Yeah.
It's totally the square guy, the circle, like, it's the same genre for me. Is that horror? Is art horror?
Yeah.
Like that scene in the square. I know. This is what we do. I diverge. The scene where he's an ape and he's like the rape.
Scene.
Fuck, man, that could be horror. I actually showed that to my students, and I went, "What am I doing? Like, this could trigger someone's, like, And then I went, fuck it. Everything triggers everyone.
Yeah.
We're all going to be triggered.
Just take some K and dissociate.
Yeah, right. Like, how can you go in life not being triggered? Like, there's so much confrontation of everything at the moment. Anyway.
Well, that's kind of fucked me then, because the whole point was to touch the fire of you not liking this thing and me.
No, I
trying to
loved
convince
it.
you.
I loved it. I thought it was. I thought it was
side with your
genius.
kids, but anyway, whatever. I guess I'm going to side with everyone.
What's his name? Ralph Fiennes? No,
Yeah.
Fiennes.
Yeah.
Was he in *Handmaid's Tale*? No, that's his brother.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, I can't look at him anymore because he's such an evil character.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
a good actor.
Yeah.
You can be such an evil cunt
Yeah.
that I cannot look at you anymore.
Yeah.
And he's associated to him, so he's got this evilness.
Yeah.
But how, like, you know what I didn't like about this movie? Like, it was such a dramatic act of art at the end of it. Like,
Yeah.
we're all going to just die.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
going to kill you all.
Yeah.
And this is for my last menu, right? Like,
Yeah.
you love this shit so much. You love the
Yeah.
fucking Michelin star bullshit, the thing that's cracked me as an artist. Like, my artistry is dead because I've like followed this route to traditional hierarchy that it's just even killed me, right? That this island, this wealth that I have is just for the most bourgeois wankers in the world, right?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the reason why I was like, oh, wow, like you fucking privileged wanker. Like you're
Yeah.
Buddha. To
Yeah.
me, you were like Buddha. You like privileged wanker, had to fucking sit under a Buddha tree for 7 years to get rid of all your wealth. Like if you were born poor Buddha, sorry for all the Buddhists out there. But if the dude was born poor, right, he wouldn't like have looked over. Like I read that book, the Tibetan Book of Living the Dead, right? And I was like, he was like, felt like empathy for the first time. Oh, poor fucking Buddha. Like if he was a poor dude, if this guy from the Menu, Ralph fucking Hines, what was his name in the Menu?
Chef Solwick.
Yeah, if Chef Solvik was Buddha, like, you know, or no, if he wasn't like, it was the opposite to Buddha because he came out like being, all right, just disregard all this. Disregard it all. Sorry for the Buddhists, but what my point was, if Buddha was Chef Solvik,
Yep.
he wouldn't be Buddha. He wouldn't take him 7 years to meditate under this tree, shadowed by a fucking snake or one of those cobras when it rained and drinking the water from the Buddha leaves and then teaching his story to other Buddhas and then Buddhism spread. And it's a beautiful thing. I actually like Buddhism. But it is like a Western privilege thing, right? The way it's interpreted.
Which is why Margot is such the important character, right?
Oh yeah, she's hot.
Yeah. Yes, she's hot. But anyway, like her role as a sex worker is, I think, really key to understanding this film. But so for those of you who haven't watched the film, so I'm being professional and pretending like there's people listening. For those of you who haven't watched the film, it's...
Sorry, I'm laughing because I just heard everything I said back to myself.
No,
For
I love going on a conversation with you because it's sort of like this beautiful circular logic where you end up arguing for the exact opposite.
Yeah, exactly.
But with the same passion that you
Yeah,
started off with.
yeah. And I was like, oh, wait a second. Think about it. Think about what you're saying. I just did. I love the film more now. The film is great.
See, I haven't even spoken and I've already completed my task. This is pretty fucking awesome. So in the film, there's Chef Solwick, who's this arsholic Michelin star-esque island owning chef, right? And you know, the second that there's an island, it's a signifier of like extreme wealth, right? And also lawlessness, right? Epstein Island, you got the fucking all the billionaires having their own islands outside of jurisdictions. So he has this restaurant on this island, and it's all based around one night, and this group of patrons that we learn he has specifically selected come along to the night, and it is as you said, the final menu. But the idea being that they all die. The spanner in the works is Margot, the sex worker, who is an escort for one of the guests, and she wasn't supposed to be there. So she's the one punctum, if you like. She's the part of the image that Chef Solwick hadn't accounted for, even though he's an absolute perfectionist, right? So he's spent years planning this menu, but she represents the uncontrollable, the random element, and of course as a result. She's the thing that she's the person who actually is the art. But we'll talk about that in a second. But what I wanted to talk about, at least to start with, is a kind of bigger issue, which is the trad wife issue. Why is there such an interest, in as much as there's such an interest in zombie films, although obviously that's kind of waning a bit, why is there such an interest in chefs? We got The Bear.
It's on Disney, like...
Oh, so
no,
why?
but I got Disney.
Oh,
you
you mean...
It's like Disney bought it or whatever.
Right. So you don't
like
want to
Disney's like Murdoch.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
There's like another fascist, right?
Yeah. I mean, they all are, but
Yeah.
particularly bad one,
Yeah. I can't wait till he comes back to life.
So we can kill him again.
Yeah.
I just want to keep... See, Zizek writes about that as well. It's just like the thing about the zombie is like it's the ultimate form of punishment, right? Because you can torture the zombie forever, of which there are often in The Walking Dead there are examples of that, right? Where they keep them alive. Well, they keep them alive. They can't be killed, and so
they're in the
this
swamp.
perpetual
And
like
that.
yeah. So it's this like perpetual like torture that occurs. But I definitely think we should bring back Walt Disney so we can think of new ways to kill him. Oh, that would be beautiful.
I think this is why Disney bought Star Wars, because Han Solo comes back to life, right? So there's this like, and Han Solo, and he's still alive.
Yeah.
And
Oh, that's a good point. So why is the chef become this fetishistic object in contemporary culture?
It's a recent thing too, right?
Yeah.
You know, not COVID, but social media.
COVID definitely kind of kicked it. I think I kicked it off up a notch. But it's
like our lockdown laws, right, was 10 years before COVID. Like we locked down Sydney. We were in a curfew state where we couldn't drink in bars. We'd have to go home at 11. At 10 o'clock, last drinks. You couldn't have a cocktail at 10. So you had to have like a drink, nothing mixed. I remember Scotch and Coke once. I don't even drink Scotch. No, it was a Scotch and ginger ale with ice. Because it was 3 ingredients, the bartender was having this wanker conversation going, that's a cocktail. He obviously he wanted to go home.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is, what the fuck is this lockdown laws? What the fuck are we doing with these laws, right? Like I'm a 40-year-old man and you're a fucking punk telling me that I can't have a fucking ginger ale in a glass with a piece of ice, scotch at 10 o'clock. And then food comes around. Yeah. Like all kids stop going out because they're not allowed to.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a global phenomenon. Like it's not like, our lockdown law was part of our forced globalization, our forced gentrification.
At that point, the chef or the production of food becomes fetishized. I was thinking about this morning. I think it's also related to the idea of getting shredded, right? As this new-ish cultural form that young people, that not only young people, fucking everyone is like.
Because you're looking quite good at the moment. Sorry.
Fuck off, Mel. This is an audio medium. Thank you very much. Do not put me, however true it may be, do not put me in that category. Thank you very much.
I think in one of the unedited versions that we have, we actually do talk about our diet.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Okay,
Yeah,
so I'm going to bring that one back. Yeah.
It is true. And look, I admit to being influeed by major cultural trends.
Yeah.
I'm only human.
Yeah.
I may wish to be a zombie, but I'm only fucking human.
Yeah.
The desire to get a ripped body is, I think, particularly for young people, is because it's the limited agency post-COVID, and particularly during COVID, the agency of your environment shrunk to your body, right? Because you're living with your fucking parents, you're in lockdown, you have no privacy, and so the literal your independence in the world is, and your expression within the world is reduced to the surface of the body itself. And in a perverse logic, working on your body so it looks perfect, even though interiorly you're fucked, right? And so the facade that you're working on becomes the most important thing. And the same is true of cooking, right? And the chef. It's the facade of the meal, not the sociality, not the actual experience of eating or being out with friends or having a drink after fucking 10 o'clock. It becomes purely about the facade because everyone else, we have no agency beyond that or within that. We can't throw the fucking food at the wall and have 10 more drinks and whatever, right? So I think these things are related. I also think if you look at the way that reality TV has evolved, one of the only enduring modes of reality TV is chef, the chef, master chef, and shit like that, cooking, right? Which
I cry at in every episode. I've stopped watching it, but I think I have seen about 3 seasons of that. I admit it. Like, I do watch some trash TV.
But didn't you feel manipulated though?
I did. But there was like, there's this point in the show where you can, like, if you watch more than one season, you understand the hypnosis of the music. So like, it's like, you know, it's up, and there's this point in the show where it would go do 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 do, something like that. I don't remember it, right? It was like a bass beat. So you know how you can't listen to the bass, but it's there. And Saria would do it. Like, she would just turn on the couch. It was like this evilness. She would just turn from the couch, look at me, and go do 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 do. Whatever the thing was, the piano tune, whatever. Yeah. I go, stop doing that, because she knows that after that I'm going to start crying. Yeah. Oh. Anyway, perversion.
Yeah, no,
that was like for Saria, watching me cry at some bullshit on TV was perverted. For me, having a diversity of migrant culture of real Australia, like, you know, the Indian, the Greek, the Lebanese person, like, you know, that's how we classify ourselves in this country. We don't call ourselves Australian. We're not unified like America, right? We haven't been deeply constructed. We're fighting against it. So we're like this colourful mix of people. And to see us all together is the Australian dream, you know what I mean? Cooking off one another, and then losing, and then like, bye, you know, the Asian gay person, bye, the Greek old mother who's been locked up in her house, you know, for centuries, you know, like, bye-bye, and like, wave and like kiss the judges, and the judges cry and we all cry. There's only one winner.
And that's the white supremacy of the Australian nation state.
That's right. But that show, everyone's a winner, because the sooner they get off, the sooner they have their Instagram followers, the sooner their
strategies all lined up.
Yeah. I love that. I love everyone's a winner.
Of course you do, Mel. You're just a deeply nice,
saccharine
person.
Is this what cooking does, though? Cooking everyone, because we all eat.
Yeah, but so when you say everyone's a winner, you mean that like everyone becomes spectacular, right?
Yeah.
Everyone becomes known. Everyone becomes famous. It's got fuck all to do with cooking or eating, right? Which is the point. However, there's this fetishization of the chef. There's a fetishization of cooking that picks up in media, is amplified through lockdown, and has most recently emerged in the trad wife, traditional wife. And what we see in the trad wife, I think, is, so the trad wife is someone who like is hearkening back to it comes out of the politics of make America great again, of which, didn't you know that, do you remember the Made in Australia campaign from the 90s?
Oh yeah, my dad was fixated on that.
Really?
Yeah, like he didn't want anything made in China. Not that he was racist. He really, like, I realized what a socialist he was. Is like, it's taking away our jobs. Like, we need to have more factories here and more, you know, like, and I thought of him as a racist prick. Come on, they make things great in China. Do you know what I mean? Like, just because my sister is such a punk, I know that she's going to kill me for this, but she has, like, she doesn't like tattoos. She doesn't have that many tattoos. She's got like a little red tattoo on her shoulder that's completely faded and gone. But she recently got a tattoo on her ankles in like quite big, like that big, right? And it says "Made in China." What the hell is that?
I kind of love that.
I know, like
that's pretty amazing.
It's like, and she's like total socialist, total, you know, like kind of like my first punk I've talked about, like, you know, what an influence she's been on me. But like, I saw it, I was like, what? That's on you forever, and you're going to get mixed reactions. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, that's a rule. Like, and it was in a beautiful font. It wasn't like just written. It was like in Helvetica or something like that.
Yeah. So you can tell this story if you like. Yeah. But in Australia, there was pre-Federation, 1893, there was the Chinese Labour Act that was passed in the Victorian government. And that was the act that mandated that furniture made, any carpentry made with Chinese labour, be stamped made with Chinese labour. And this predates the White Australia policy, and it in fact is one of the first like articulations of racial policy and debate that occurs in Australia. Now, one of the interesting things...
1897?
1893.
93.
Yeah. So just before Federation.
Yeah.
And what's interesting about it, I mean, there's many interesting things about it. You can still see these stamps on furniture. One of the interesting aspects of that was that in the same way that like your dad was obsessed with Australian made, that act came from the unions because it was about protecting union jobs. So this idea that Chinese labor in Australia, that Chinese labor was somehow taking away jobs from Australian labor. So it's explicitly racialized forms of labor within Australia that then set up the notion of the value of a commodity was its whiteness. Right? It's production by white people or European labor at a time before Australia exists. I know this because Lachlan's doing his honours thesis on it, so this is all Lachlan's work. So this is me appropriating someone else's work. Yeah. So go look at his work. But there are debates in it as to like what the label should contain, and there's this and of course like the rehearsed classifications of like half caste, like what if the Chinese worker has a European mother, you know, like all these kind of like permutations. But there was also this idea of like what should the stamp say? And one of the things was, well, it must be intelligible to housewives because they're the ones that are picking the furniture, so they must know it. But the first consensus was that it should contain Chinese writing. It didn't matter what it said because that was like the universal recognition of like the otherness.
Yeah.
That as long as there's some sort of squiggle that we can't understand, then that is the marker of otherness itself. Which I really like because then it's like, well, what could you write in Chinese?
What does that actually say?
Yeah. But it ended up being like made with Chinese labor. Yeah. But the Made in Australia campaign, which then it goes like almost 100 years later, is a
1980.
Yeah, 80. It's around this bicentenary, right?
Yeah.
Contains exactly the same logic where Made in Australia, because now Australia exists, right? So 1893, it doesn't exist. It names the other, and the other is Chinese labor. Yeah. By the time we get to Made in Australia, Australia is already established. Like this is synonymous with whiteness, right? So when you say Australian made, you mean white. It means white made. It's like we've had now 100 years of white Australia policy so that everyone knows that when we say made in Australia, we mean made by white people. And I think the reason why it emerges in 1988 is precisely because of the rise of multiculturalism. And so and the reason, the other reason I think is really interesting here is that in that official pamphlet, right? So this is the pamphlet that got, it was advertising Made in Australia, but it was also had the administrative forms to apply to get that label for your product, right? This is the formal pact. The first line of the pamphlet is "Make Australia Great Again."
No way.
The first line.
No way.
Way.
Fucking that guy in America. I'm not going to say his name.
Yeah, it's the exact line. So when it says that, "Make Australia Great Again," it is explicitly saying we need to ensure that Australia remains white, and that our production, and that the world knows that when we say Australia, we mean two things. We mean we're all white and we have fucking kangaroos. That's what that means.
It's like...
good on your sister.
Yeah.
You buy Chinese stuff.
Yeah.
That's why my phone is Chinese. That's why I'm on TikTok. Seriously.
I always think like that debate about like TikTok, you know, reading your face and owning everything. It's like, well, so what? Like the Chinese government owns it, or like fucking Mark Zuckerberg owns it. Do you know what I mean? What's the difference? Yeah. Like Mark Zuckerberg is probably as big as the Chinese government.
Yeah. And also at least ideologically, I can like performatively pretend to be owned by the Chinese.
Yeah, totally. You know,
somewhat communist state
makes you closer to Ai Weiwei somehow, giving your finger.
Whose mother was concerned that he was fat.
Yeah,
which is such an interesting thing. Anyway,
isn't that like that's something that comes through every parent? That logic of appearance, like sometimes comes with me with my son. I have got to like talk to my therapist about that. Anyway, that's another story. Today I was at a cafe.
Yeah.
Speaking of chefs, before I got here with Brendan, who you just saw, I'm going to name everyone like with their real names. Yeah. I can have this conversation with them, like I did with Liz, who I named because of the music that was playing in the car.
Yep.
Now I was with Brendan, Saria, Nico.
Yep.
We're at a cafe called, it's a new cafe in Summerhill. Anyway, we're sitting down at this new cafe who has their own beans, and it's actually, I don't know the cafe name, but if you know it, it's in Summerhill. Anyway, I'm sitting down next to a guy, strange looking man, cool, very handsome. He had a dog. Nico, who's 6 months old, wanted to play with the dog. He tied it up outside, and all I said to him was, you should have brought it back in. He was actually being gentle to take it outside. It was a cavoodle, right? Like it was like the richest dog in the world, like the Stanmore pedigree.
The Scott Morrison dog.
Yeah, everyone in Stanmore's got one.
Yeah.
I've fallen in love with a few cavoodles in my time. I've been convinced with.
You also
poodle.
watch reality TV.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Right.
Well, like they're really good. Their hair doesn't come off. They get curly.
Yeah, you don't have to fucking advertise them.
They're small. Anyway, so it's cavoodles outside. It's being really cute, by the way. It's like on the ground, press up my belly. Like it looks. They've bred their eyes to look at you some way, like they're human.
Yeah.
Okay. So Nico's obsessed with her. I tell this guy. Anyway, he ends up being a famous movie maker.
The dog or the
No, Stavros. His name's Stavros.
Right.
I won't mention his second name because he's wealthy and he could sue me for mentioning his name. Right.
Yeah. Fortunately, everyone we know is not wealthy. They cannot sue us.
He seems wealthy because he said he moved from Bondi to North Sydney.
Oh yeah.
All this stuff, right?
Yeah.
He was an interesting guy. He said Nico. He goes, "What's the baby's name?" Nico, like the singer from Velvet Underground. That's where the trigger came from. So we got to wherever you get a name from, the first moment, I don't know if you want to mention your kids' names. No. But if you did, there is a trigger point from where you got that name.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
So for me, it was Velvet
Except
Underground.
my names were never picked.
Oh, you didn't?
I didn't win either argument.
Ah.
Yeah.
So there was a trigger point from your partner, right?
Yes.
Or
yes.
your
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that famous person,
Yeah.
that person we know,
Yeah.
my great uncle, my dad's name, do you know what I mean? My mum's name,
Yeah.
my auntie Sue. That's not your. Anyway, I don't have an auntie called Sue. But Stavros, he's going, "You're an artist." I'm going, "Yeah." He goes, "I went to art school back in 1984, Sydney College of the Arts." I go, "You're a painter." He goes, "It's a hobby." I go, "What do you do now?" He goes, "I make movies." I go, "Cool, let's make a movie together." I didn't realize he's such a famous director or movie person. Like he's really famous. I'm talking about Hollywood films. He said, what was his first film? Love and something. It was made in the 90s. I said to him, this is hilarious. I go, "Is it on Vimeo? Can you send it to me?" Because when he said Sydney College of Arts, I'm thinking he makes art.
Like art videos.
Yeah, art videos, right? You know?
He's like, no, it's Blockbuster.
I can download it and pay for it, motherfucker. Do you know what I mean? Like, send it to me on Vimeo with your password. I said that to him, right?
Oh, I love you so much.
I know he does reveal his surname. We end up he's Pontian Greek. He says to me he's Cyprian.
Right.
So I go, what's your last name? And his last name had DIS on it. And I went at the end of it, and that's an indicator that you're Greek from Turkey, right? Mm-hmm. So I was like, that's like my last name, Kyriakidis. Are you Pontian, like from the Black Sea? And he goes, yes, actually. And I go, And then he's telling me that his grandfather escaped the genocide into Egypt, because there's a lot of Greeks in Egypt. Alexandria, Alexandria, I don't know why, because Alexander the Great was there.
Yeah.
So there's Greeks there, right? I don't know. Everywhere there's an Alexandria, like in Alexandria and Sydney, there's heaps of Greeks there, right?
Yeah.
Because he went there. Right? So this guy tells me his last name. I still don't know who he is. And he's trying to reveal to me that he's super famous.
Yeah.
Like, who knows what a writer and director looks like?
Yeah,
no
sure. No.
Like, right?
Yeah.
So it kind of ties into this perfectly, right? Because he told me that, because we were eating there. I wasn't eating because I'm on a stupid keto diet because I want to look good inside because I'm dying inside. I'm really lonely. Anyway, so he tells me that he doesn't like eating at cafes.
Right.
Because he makes great food. And then he's telling me that Meg Ryan and someone else was in one of his movies. And at that point, I went,
maybe not on Vimeo.
Yeah, maybe not on Vimeo. And at that point, psychologically, I start fucking up internally.
Yeah.
Because I am sitting next to somebody that is in that Hollywood elite in this cafe in Summer Hill. Mm-hmm. So I start fucking mentioning things like, did you do the writer's strike? He goes, no, that was in America. And I was like, yeah, but residual
solidarity.
Yeah. And he was like, and he was just he was cool because he was like a weird artist type of guy. He was wearing the same kind of thing on his hand as I was.
Yeah.
I started crumbling inside when I knew he was that famous. Isn't that weird? Like I started like reaching for things. Yeah.
But I was at we're never gonna forget this.
Yeah.
I think we just fucking don't worry about it. But
sorry.
No, that's fine.
But like that zombie inside me came out. Like famous person. That's what my speech would have sounded like. And then he said to me, because I forgot what his last name was, and I asked around Saria and Brendan and Nico and Rom, who came later, and I asked, what was your last name again? He goes, now you want to look me up. He was like that. Like he flipped. He like the evil, like you didn't know who I was. I was happy. I was happy not knowing who it. Now you want to know who I am. And I felt bad. That's it. That's my story. But it ended up with Dennis Rodman. Okay. Yeah. And making Australia great again.
Right,
because, you know, he was on that show called The Apprentice.
Got it.
Okay, cool. That's it. Please take this. Run with that, Tim.
All right.
Do what you do with that.
Because I'm an experienced teacher, as you know.
Yeah.
And I've had to deal with students like you in the past.
Okay.
And I have to pretend.
Really? There's other ones out there?
Not many.
Okay.
Not many. Have to pretend that what you say is interesting and relevant.
Oh, motherfucker. Okay.
And try and link it back into this week's topic. No, what I was going to say is that I was at graduation yesterday, and I noticed a similar kind of thing.
Did you wear your Star Wars gear? Is it like a Star Wars? What is that? Harry Potter stuff?
Yeah, Harry Potter stuff. Yeah. Because you know, like I've told you like the graduation story.
No.
My graduation performance?
No.
So when I graduated my honours, I decided that I would turn. At the time, I was reading an anthropologist, actually, Marc Augé.
Who?
Marc Augé. And so he writes about institutions. I was also reading like de Soto's Practice of Everyday Life, right? So this essential idea of how do you win, instead of winning the war, how do you win the battle, right? You're never going to win the war. The institution's slow moving, but will fucking destroy you. So how can you like sneak in and steal something, right? Just for you. And, you know, like the typical examples are like if you've worked any shitty job in your life, you work out ways to steal money, right? Or supplies or whatever. And often it's not that you need them. It's just a way to affirm yourself against the institution. Hopefully we've all done it. If you haven't, you need to. The graduation is an interesting point. This is the one of the few rituals that the university holds on to. But really, it's also just like you would probably know this because I'm assuming you are someone who had library fines, that you can't graduate until you've like settled your debt. So anyway, I was graduating. I was like, but the weird thing is that like, it's this weird thing where they call out, you know, and they call out your degree, you walk across the stage, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, they don't actually give a fuck who you are. And so I'm like, well, I'm going to send someone else up on stage in my place to receive my degree.
No way.
So a kind of half friend, he never did a degree, right? Because he just went straight into business and he's a fucking property developer, right?
What's his name? I love the way you said it.
No, I can't say that.
I love the way. That's the first time you name someone from your side. Like, I'm just dropping names here.
I fucking dropped the last name.
Stavros, this, that, right?
No, I can't. We're actually going to have to beep that.
Okay, Stavros is rich.
Anyway.
Not that they're going to hear this, right? What grand delusion have we got over here?
If there's one conspiracy theory I have is that property developers fucking run Sydney.
Yeah.
So he'll find out. Anyway, I knew he had because he went to school with me, and I knew he had a chip on his shoulder about not ever going to university and just making cunt loads of money. Yeah. So anyway, I was like, do you want a degree? You can have my degree. And for whatever reason, he said yes. And, you know, I'm grateful for him for doing that. He was shitting himself. He was so scared that he was going to get caught out. And I'm like, who's going to catch you out?
Was it kind of like being nervous, like getting a degree as well? Like it went into the performative aspect of the whole thing?
Yes, which is what I get to about the other graduation. So anyway, so they check his name off. He got on all gowned up and everything. And so
they checked your name off.
My name off for him. And then he walks up on stage and he gets he still has my first class honours degree, right? He has my everything, certificate or whatever.
I like how you just dropped in the first class. Like,
do you want to know? Do you want to know?
Like economy here, First class, motherfucker.
Do you want me to do the very Sydney thing and drop in my fucking Utah UAI as well onto this?
Yeah, do you remember it?
Yeah, of course I do.
Yeah, okay. 99.8%.
No, that was my sister.
Okay.
Fucking bitch.
It should beat you by 2%, far out. 0.2.
No, by 0.4. So
Oh, sorry, 99.2.
0.35.
Oh, okay, cool. I've never seen you wield your ego before. This is the first time.
I've just needed this opportunity.
Tim on ketamine.
Look, it's just really important that people know I'm fucking smart.
Yeah, you are. This is why Alex will not come in and do
Yeah, but he also got that.
Yeah, I know. He's a North Sydney boy.
Yeah, well,
yeah. Sorry.
Public school.
Yeah.
Just got to say, public fucking school.
I went to all boys school as well.
Yeah, I mean, that obviously was a big mistake. But anyway.
We can talk about it. That's part of our trauma. So, this guy, Alex, or whatever, property developer.
Yes, got my degree. But the beautiful thing is, I have actually, I'm like, oh, I guess it's okay. Oh, no.
Yeah.
The problem is that I called him a cunt.
It's in a nice way. Like he's got like $1 billion compared to your like 58 cents, right?
Yeah,
like
sure,
you know,
sure.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Mel. Yeah.
So like everyone's a cunt.
Don't sue me.
Everyone's a cunt. Right? Do you know what I mean? Like,
No, true.
Okay.
I mean, he did do it, so whatever. But so I have I bought all the official graduation stuff, so I have the graduation photo of him as me with my name across the bottom. But the most beautiful thing about it is that all my lecturers who taught me for 4 years are sitting on stage and you can see their faces. They're like looking at me. It's not me.
So wait a second. You get 99.35, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And you do an art degree.
Yeah.
Like your parents aren't like going...
No, because my sister's a doctor.
That's right. So it's like, oh,
I'm a doctor too.
Yeah, you're a doctor. What? And actually, you're a real doctor. Like they're GPs.
Yes, I did choose to do art. I wasn't going to do art, but So
what a waste of time at North Sydney boys. You could have had a proper education.
I could have actually had some fun rather than trauma.
Yeah, exactly.
But then I would have been a shit artist. I mean, I still am a shit artist, but I would have been a different type of shit artist.
Yeah, okay.
I would have been making paintings of flowers and being happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Living on the beach. I do live on the beach.
Yeah.
I am that person.
And you paint flowers, right?
Fuck you.
Or you pollinate them.
I did actually do a painting of it. Not since my, you know what.
Okay.
Fucking whatever. What am I talking about? Yeah, so I have this photo.
Yesterday.
I'll fuck
yesterday.
That's the end of the story. It doesn't matter.
Right.
But the yesterday was the interesting thing was that you are told before the graduation starts. Everyone's told, this is what you do. You line up, you walk on stage, you doff your cap, and then you've graduated.
I've got a similar story to you.
All right.
One, I graduated first time, and I did the whole thing.
So, did you say first time or first class?
First time. I've got I think it was 3 times, 3.5 times. Right.
Oh.
The other 2 times, the second time I graduated, I said I'm not turning up, so I ticked it just to receive it in the mail.
Yep. That's what
But then I didn't turn up. The third time, I said I was going, and then at the very last minute, I said I wasn't going, but I went just to watch them call my name.
And did they?
Yeah.
That's quite unusual because usually they don't.
No, they called my name because they thought I was there.
How did it feel?
It was cool. It was like, it was a pause. I made them pause. And that was at UNSW for my master's.
So we've kind of had the same. This is the fucking stupid thing about us. We've done the same things completely independently of each other.
Yeah. And it was like,
I love that.
Because I didn't want to go up. It wasn't I wasn't like you were like, this is a performance. Yeah. For me, it was like a performative thing. I do a lot of performative things, but I don't realize they're performances until after it.
People tell you you're fucking weird. You're no, it was a performance. The revelation that to link this back to your story, I'm trying hard to link your shit that you said to my shit, was that I tell you exactly what to do. And I would say at least 30% of graduating students failed to do the basic instruction of walk across the stage, doff their hat, pause for 2 seconds as a photograph is taken, and then walk down. They 30% fucked up one of those 3 instructions. And it's precisely symbolic, like affective order, where they completely understand what they're doing. In any other context, they would have done it. But there's something about, and I don't like it, the ritual of like a Hollywood director or the ritual of the chancellor standing in front of you that makes you fuck up. That is, to me, the revealing of that power relationship that they have over you, right? The authority that they have over you. And also the fact that you making yourself look like a fool is making them look better. So you do it to yourself in order to affirm their authority over you. And that means like how brutalized you've been by any institution, be it your family, if you're like that in front of your dad, right? Or your principal at school, or your partner, or a fucking Hollywood director. It's often considered kind of cute. It's like, oh, you kind of lost for words in front of them. It's like, no, like their authority and their like dominance over you has turned you have humiliated yourself rather than wait for them to humiliate you.
What's the Vice Chancellor's name?
I don't know.
Have you met them?
No, I mean, other than sitting like a foot away from them.
You didn't like, hello, I'm Tim.
I have a Utah of 99.3.
Is the Vice Chancellor Stavros to you? Would you go, or, like, you know,
No,
not giddy? I don't know. Would you just say the dumbest shit after?
I would say dumb shit, but I don't know.
Do they have that power? Like, they do, right?
Yeah.
Like,
they're
really weird. I didn't feel their power like you guys felt their power. Like, you know, that's the thing. I didn't.
So then why did you feel it in front of the Hollywood director?
I didn't. I got giddy when he said Meg Ryan. I was really like playing it on afterwards. Like after I was playing the whole thing up a little bit more. It was more performative than anything, because I had talked to him for 20 minutes or so before he revealed himself. He was revealing himself. He was trying to say, this is who I am the whole time.
Yeah.
And then I wasn't buying it. Do you know what I mean? I was probably like, he probably thought I did know, and I was actually
trying to pitch something.
Yeah. Like I was like my friend Daniel Havas, who I've just named, who's like, I call him my friend. He was my student from Newtown. He's a great filmmaker. When I see him, I say, let's make a film together. I want to do, like, this is what I do with people, like you. Yeah. Let's make artwork together.
I'm the only idiot that says yes.
Yeah, I know. Like, right. So, hey, and it's great. Like, you can see the madness that would come out of this, right?
Yeah.
So, he said, I make films, and straight away I went, he's got access to a camera. Let's make a film. Like, I've got so many ideas, right? Let's just talk and make films together. I don't know you. And maybe he will find me on Instagram and want to make a film with me, like a real film, like not a Meg Ryan film, like
a proper film,
a proper one.
Yeah,
I know, and he's a writer as well. Yeah.
Who didn't go on strike, so you don't want to work with him.
No, and he's got a cavoodle.
Yeah,
he lives in Summer Hill.
Oh,
I know.
Ugh. At least you have the decency to live not in Summer Hill.
Totally. So we got through the menu, but there's more to the menu, right?
You haven't fucking started. I put all this intellectual labor, my intellectual labor, might I add.
This is true. You know, and I did look at it yesterday, or the day before. Yeah. I did look at it. And I was like, you know, this is great. I like it. I like this structure.
Yeah.
You're keeping it real. This is how I taught.
Yeah.
This is how you teach.
We have all these notes and then never refer to them.
You refer to them. And then I use them and
yeah, but then there are students in the class like you that never let me get past page 1.
I just want to know why you talk about Andy in class. Klaus
Oldenburg,
who I love.
I love Klaus Oldenburg too. Okay, let's just talk that slide. Let's just follow Mel's logic and pick a slide from the middle of the fucking presentation where it will make no sense at all and talk about it. Great. So, so very briefly. The reason why I threw Klaus Oldenburg in there was that the whole point of the menu's failure from Chef Solwick is that he has no joy, he has no passion, he has no like engagement with the art form of cooking anymore. So I think Klaus Oldenburg is one of the best artists of producing that affect of deflation. But particularly in the two the images I have there, I mean the hamburger we can also talk about, but the cello, which is like a soft cello hanging from the wall with the strings kind of hanging down. made out of fabric, and the light switch, to me, are two like emblematic works. The first one, the cello, is the one where, you know how most people's favorite music is from when they're a teenager. It's probably just because they stop listening, but it's also linked to that idea where you associate like intensity of various emotions and feelings of being a teenager with particular songs. It kind of hardwires those things together, and so most people don't get over it. Or like the first time you fuck, and then so that song is like ingrained into that, or that like album becomes like that relationship or whatever. And there's this like intensity of feeling like you're being spoken for by this other voice. There's this ventriloquism that occurs. You know, the thing of
like it becomes yours. It's not yours, but it becomes yours.
Yeah, it becomes yours. Yeah.
Like it's my music.
Yeah.
It is mine now. Like, and your friend likes the same song. No, this is my song, motherfucker. I listened to Prince for the first time.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
It's on my mixtape.
The one thing that has started to make me understand Taylor Swift is
I can't believe you just said Taylor Swift.
I said understand, not like.
Okay.
All right.
I did watch the doco and I ended up liking her.
Did you cry?
No, I did not cry. You're an asshole.
I've been telling you this.
But more so today.
I've had 4 hours fucking sleep.
Okay, all right.
So if you
like, all right, I cried. So what? So what if I cried to Taylor Swift documentary who I cannot stand at all?
because you started by saying, I can't believe you're talking about Taylor Swift.
All right, okay, sorry.
Fuck you. I knew you loved her.
You loved her.
Anyway, the one thing that has helped me understand Taylor Swift is I was reading a thing about her, and it said that she is the first voice of a generation since Bob Dylan, right? Fucking boomers go on about Bob Dylan, and it's this like capturing this notion of a generation that was radical but wasn't, obviously, and this like possibility of hope and desire. But it was deep, like when they say voice of a generation, they mean what you just meant, which is this capacity for a voice to be both collective and deeply like individual. And why I think Taylor Swift steps it up a notch, because she's a voice of a generation in a way that Bob Dylan probably couldn't have been, which is more in line with what Obama was. And there's a weird kind of connection here, but Obama in the book Audacity for Hope says, I am a blank screen onto which people project their desires and fantasies. Now, as a black man, like you kind of have to be, right, to be non-threatening within a white supremacist system. But it also is this notion of what we call the disintegrated spectacle, where you have the normal thing of the spectacle as being like one image and everyone is watching the one image, right? The disintegrated spectacle is when it's still one image, but that image is so vacuous and empty and devoid of meaning that every individual casts their own voice onto that object. And so Taylor Swift is perfect because she's literally written songs about everything, right? There's nothing she hasn't written. There's no genre, really, acceptable pop genre that she hasn't done. And
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I don't know any of her songs, by the way.
You just watched the documentary.
Yeah, but I didn't listen to her music. It was about her, like, and about her not
That's
wanting
like
to be
saying
political.
that you looked at the porn magazine for the articles.
Yeah. Like, honestly, I don't know any Taylor Swift songs. I probably, like, for me, Taylor Swift is like Britney Spears. I don't know any Britney Spears songs. I know that she's super famous, and I kind of like her craziness, her cray-cray, right? That's what kids call her. But I don't know any of her songs. I really, like, something traumatizes me from very, very famous people like that, like the pop aspect of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
From that point on, I think it was from the 90s on.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, what you were saying was really interesting.
No, anyway, it's essentially that thing of the ventriloquized lover, right? So the id finds its like super ego in figures like Taylor Swift. Yeah. And the reason that she's spectacularly successful is because so many people can cast their life narrative onto her. And so she plays that very flatly. As it relates to Klaus Oldenburg, is that as you get older, the deflation of that connection like occurs. And it eventually returns as nostalgia, but that intensity of like, we can change the world, this person speaks for me, everyone speaks for me, la la la, I'm alive, that someone pricks that balloon at some point and it slowly deflates. What the menu says is that deflation occurs through specialization, through training, right? the better he
labor.
becomes, through labor, the better he becomes, the harder it is for him to feel that fullness, right? And in fact, the harder he tries, the more he deflates himself. But because he has no other engagement with the world or understanding of how to engage with the world except through labor and except through like a deathly excellence, will always conclude in death and total death. Whereas the sex worker, although she also hates her job, and it's really important that like that is declared, and I think it's really important it's declared in the film. So she hates her labor, but she's never lost the relationship of her labor to the basic sex drive that she services. Whereas the chef, and I think this is why I want to connect it to like the broader culture, what the chef does and has done is separated labor from the desire to eat, like the satiation of eating, right? Which is why the hamburger returns. The hamburger is the object that is the satiation of the desire to eat, which the chef remembers, and it's like a bit romanticized, whatever.
And like the hamburger now is the most expensive thing on a menu anywhere.
Exactly, right? So even the hamburger has now disappeared, right? It is now gone up its own ass.
Yeah.
So the Klaus Oldenburg gives us the deflation of the music with the cello and the deflation of the idea with the light switch, turning on the light, blah, blah, blah. If Oldenburg's like, look, you're kind of like, you're getting a limp dick, is really what it is, right? It's impotence towards the world. Your libido is running out. What Warhol does is say that even the hamburger, which is like the sex worker, right? Even when that desire is there and you take it, as Margot, as the sex worker, has this like complex relationship to that, but at least has a relationship to that is still deeply unsatisfying. Because what you see in the film is that he makes her the hamburger, right? But she eats it. He doesn't. He can't get satisfaction from that hamburger. But she still can, right? So she can still orgasm. She can still satiate her hunger, her drives, because she's still connected to libido in a way of wanting to be in the world. He is only ever deathly. But what I'm even more interested in with the menu is in that final scene when she eats the hamburger. You see blood all over her hands, right? All over her arms. So it's not just that she's eating hamburgers. It is cannibalism. She's eating the blood of the people who have just died. And so the cannibalistic metaphor, which Lefebvre and others have critiqued as like, arch capitalism, and the zombie is always classified from George Romero on as the evil consumer, like the mindless drone consumer, right? But what I think Margot does, and what I think the menu does, and what I think a more radical reading of the zombie is that they're not, it's not a metaphor for consumerism, right? It's not a metaphor for going out to the mall and buying a fucking TV. What does a zombie do? A zombie eats people. Eats people, right? That is fucking wild, right? That is sexual, right? Like, so that's why I brought up the L.A. Bruce porno, zombie porno. There's like this fucking, which is, like a zombie's body is like ripped open, right? So suddenly you've got like 100 holes you can fuck, right? So there's and it's queer because it doesn't, it's not how a zombie reproduces. Fucking is not how a zombie reproduces. So it's like inherently queer. It's inherently like pleasure driven, drive driven, and cannibalistic of the human. And so when we say like cannibalistic of the human, the zombie, and here I hear Margot is the zombie, right? The zombie cannibal eats the human, right? The hamburger that's mixed with the blood of the human, in order to consume like the very notion of human subjectivity, right? Of the fucking egotistical chef, of this idea of the fucking full light switch and full music, this idea that it's possible to have this ventriloquized, I know who I am, this person speaks for me, this is me. What the zombie says, to return to communism, is there is no such thing as me, right? There is cannibalism. Like, we should cannibalize each other. We should eat each other. We should fuck each other. We should become like this double holy kind of collective entity that exists through the world through being cannibalizing. And in a sense, because remember, like a zombie is the living dead. This was the other point I wanted to raise. When you eat something, right? It's not you eat the thing, right? You eat the cow. But the cow eats you. So what you shit out is not the remains of the food, it's the remains of you, so that the cow can live in you. So when you eat the human in order to become a zombie, what you're doing is you're creating, to use a NAF term, like a post-human. Like you're taking, like, and that's what communism is. It's taking the human, but digesting it into something new.
So when I'm listening to Taylor Swift, right, because I do listen to Taylor Swift, I lie, right? I'm eating Taylor Swift. I'm consuming it.
So the question is then, how can you cannibalize Taylor Swift? How can you eat her?
I totally get it now. I'm blown away. I'm thinking of Kanye. I'm thinking of Beyonce, and I'm thinking of Taylor Swift. Who's the chef? I think Kanye is. No, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I think you're probably right.
Yeah.
Hadn't thought of it like that, but yeah.
Kanye calling out Taylor Swift because she's white and she won not on merit because Beyonce sold way more albums than she did. And he just gets up on the stage and he goes, fuck that. Beyonce should be the winner. Catapulted Taylor Swift, catapulted her to the stardom she is today. Bitch, I made you famous.
Yeah.
Right. And she didn't refuse that song. She actually was like, yeah, you can lay in that bed. I can be a mannequin with you. This is just blowing my mind. Like every time I eat a hamburger now, I'm going to hum a fucking Taylor Swift song with Kanye in the back.
Yeah, cannibalizer.
I
mean, that's the thing. Like, I think actually Taylor Swift has a lot of value. Like, this is.
Did you just say that? Yeah.
Yeah, I did just say that.
Yeah.
Because I think it sounds like dramatic.
No, I love this about you. I love this about you. This
is what happens when I have 4 hours sleep. But there is actually, despite the fact that I was saying like the relation of the ego to Taylor Swift, that it is affirming of a sense of wholeness, and I'm just saying I hate that. There is a collective. Obviously, there's a huge collective around what Taylor Swift does. Right, there is a collective power there that could easily be transformed into a collective movement that is closer to the zombie. Now, to do that, Taylor Swift, I mean, this is going to sound Christ-like, and this is fucking weird that I even can think of this. But remember, of course, like we consume Christ, right? That the whole point is you cannibalize Christ. But that Christ allows himself to be cannibalized, to be eaten. And so Taylor would have to sacrifice herself to be cannibalized to start the zombie horde. Taylor Swift could be the virus patient zero of the coming zombie horde.
Like the first COVID victim.
Yeah.
Hey, let's call this part one. Because I really want to continue with this, and I'm getting phone calls.
Yeah, you have. I apologize. I was talking over your phone call.
No, it's okay. But that threw me a little bit.
Yeah. Let's pause it.
But I am gonna call this part one of part two, maybe part three, because if that's only one page and I went to the middle, I reckon there's 3 parts to this.
Maybe we'll see. I kind of shrunk everything together, but
you didn't. I'm totally
You're here for it.
I'm here for it.
All right, Mel. Lovely to see you.
You too.